You're obviously able to fill your bench at the weekend. You've now got some more options at your disposal. How key is that going to be, that particularly with the forward options that you've got over the coming weeks?
You know, us at our best have to have everybody fit and firing. When we have been, that's been the key and a major part of us gaining big performances and results. So obviously, when that doesn't happen, and you've got some major players out, it's going to affect us, affect me with the selection. You know, I chuckle at times when, you know, the big clubs talk about, you know, even Saturday, and no, that's no criticism of the big clubs, but it is a bit of a chuckle when they say Aguero's out and Kevin De Bruyne's out, and you still see the strength and the depth of some of these squads. So it is going to stretch us in this period when we can't call upon the likes of McBurney for a big period, Mousset for a big period, O'Connell, Zanderberg, and you've seen it. It's gone right the way through the group. It's unprecedented in my time here, but we get on with it and we produce performances of character like we have done last week, and we have to keep doing that. But hopefully we get players back. Ollie coming back is a big boost for us. Getting him on the pitch on Saturday was great. So he can give us that boost at the top of the pitch as well, and a few more back. You know, there's not any players really that are going to be out for the season, but obviously the sort of different timings of major players being back is obvious, and we'll just have to wait and see regarding them.
I know you said you're not expecting any incomes or outgoings today, Chris. Has there been any interest in John Lundstrom with his situation?
No, there's been no interest. I believe John would be here to the end of the season, and that'll be the case.
Is there a chance that you could do something in the summer with John?
Not really thought about it, Adam. If I'm honest, it's really been put to bed in terms of his situation and him getting his head down, which he is doing, and obviously us involving him, which we are doing, and so really not really thought about that situation or that option.
We got to speak to John Fleck earlier on. Is it great to see over the last few games him being back to his best? Yeah,
John's back playing. His brother Jimmy obviously played for a couple of months this season, but John's back now. His twins gone back home to Glasgow to play in the Islands League or whatever league it is. So brilliant to have John back, and you know, he's such an important player when he's playing in the manner that he's doing, and hopefully he can have a big second part of the season.
Yeah, he's got a key role, hasn't he, in terms of how the team particularly goes forward in terms of those midfield areas?
Yeah, he's been a major influence on our results over the last 3 or 4 years, hasn't he? From when he came in and what he did in every season. He's been a key player, a major player, and for us to get him back into the form that he's showing now and hopefully can kick on is great news for me and him. He's vital to what we're trying to do. And they all need to be. I've said it. I've been consistent with what I've said all along, Adam. They all need to play at the top of the game, and for one reason or the other, and it happens. You know, players, you know, don't hit the form that they know they can hit, and it takes time. But it's never, for me, the length of it is obviously important, but it was always going to happen. But obviously we were hoping that, you know, John would come back a little bit quicker than what he is, and I think John would accept that on his part as well.
Clearly you and your players have always had belief that you'll get yourselves out of the situation that you're in, but do the two performances at the Manchester clubs demonstrate to everybody else in the league that you all very much mean business?
Well, I talked about it afterwards, Adam, about, you know, what Pep had to say about us, and what other people have had to say about us. It doesn't gain you points, but for me, an opinion by top proper, well-respected achievers in the game. There's no reason they have to say these things. He doesn't have to say those things about us, but what he did say backed up my opinion that we're alive. It was a huge week for us, obviously. I think, everybody, as we talk about, watches and looks at other teams, not just their own teams, and would have seen two, spirited performances, full of character, full of organisation, and full of bravery. We couldn't open up to Man City. The amount of effort that we put in against Manchester United, which in the Premier League, the intensity of it all, which talk about, and then to go to Man City back to back, possibly two of the toughest games that I've had in my period here as manager, back to back. The situation that we were in, the league position that we're in, the way we've been talked about, where we've been put down, the injuries that we had, to go and do that really, I think, speaks volumes about what the players are about, and they've got to really back that up now and not waste that opportunity that's going to be in front of them now. I keep saying to you, I'm not sitting here thinking, next 17 games we're going to win 11, 12 of them and draw 5. It's the Premier League, and every game is an incredible, difficult challenge, and this one's going to be a difficult challenge in front of us now. I talked about it. Yeah, do we think it's a must-win game? I think it's, let's not kid ourselves. Of course it is. We've got to get a result. We've got to get a win to give ourselves a fighting chance to close the gap. The teams that we're going to come up against, we've got to win games of football, but it's still the Premier League, and it's still incredible challenges in front of us, but ones that we are really looking forward to, and I sense that in the players. They're looking forward to Tuesday night, and they're looking forward to the weekend, and hopefully we can build on what's happened over the last 2 or 3 weeks, and give it a right go and pick some points up.
Do you reflect back on the game at the Hawthorns earlier in the season as one that was a missed opportunity for some points?
Yeah, incredibly missed opportunity. I think I don't like sit at home and just go through stuff that we can't really control. But that you do sit there and you think about it. I think my wife Francesca will say the same as well. It's 90%. It's 90% Sheffield United all the time for the benefit of the football club and thinking about the football club. And you think about games that you've had. You can't really do anything about it, but naturally, you do think, and certainly, there's been some huge missed opportunities this season, and that's possibly the highlight of it. But we can't do anything about it. We've got to use it to know that we're good enough to beat the opposition, I believe. But respecting that, they've got an incredibly experienced manager, a great operator in this level, England manager, and who's never been relegated, and who's pulled, rabbits out of hats, left, right, and centre in these positions before, and will be desperate for a result, and he will believe as well that if they beat us on Tuesday night, that they've got a fighting chance of staying up. So, it's a big game for both clubs, but from my point of view, of course, there's been some huge opportunities missed or points chucked away that would have obviously helped us in our quest to stay in the Premier League.
What have you made of the impact that Big Sam's had on West Brom? I suppose it shows just how difficult it is at the minute in the Premier League. Yeah,
I mean, it is hugely difficult. It changes every year. To come in, I've done it before at a different level. To come in halfway through the season is difficult. You have to quickly assess. You have to quickly get your message over. Yeah, and then you have to affect results. But they've had some decent results. A great win at Wolves, and some tight games as well. So because of the quality of the manager, he almost certainly will affect stuff between now and the end of the season. But it's such a such a tough gig to quickly do that. You know, obviously the January window as well. You know, you have to assess players, and then you're going to try and bring players in. I think he looks like he's going to bring a couple of players in as well. So that isn't the easiest window to work in as well. So, but like I said, he's a big football man. He's a big character. You know, I always say the job that he did at Bolton, knowing what the Premier League's about in my really short time in it was an incredible achievement, and right the way through his career, what he's done, he's achieved, and you know, I for one certainly don't get the sort of negative attitude that people have towards Sam. As far as I'm concerned, he's an innovator, and he's done that right the way through from the start when he was at Bolton, right the way through his career, and achieved and got teams out of positions that I don't think many managers would be able to do that, and he deserves an enormous amount of credit for that.
Is this one of those games where you miss the crowd even more? You know,
you can't talk to me about missing crowds, Adam. I've missed it. We've missed it. I've missed it. They've missed it. It's, you know, it's an incredible downer for us as a football club, because right the way through, in my opinion, we would certainly have had more points on the board if we'd have had a full Bramall Lane, without a shadow of a doubt. So, you know, this game tomorrow night, I'm 100% certain that we would have had a committed, loyal, vociferous crowd backing us, and they would have made it hostile for the opposition, which they have done right the way through. And that would have been the case not just for Tuesday night, but for all of the season, and I'll go along, and people will have their own opinions and ideas and views, but I think we've missed that crowd more than any team in the Premier League has missed the crowd.